1 year. 1 full year since Kyle Larson last climbed out of that car, stood on the roof, and reminded the rest of the garage exactly who they were dealing with. Think about that for a second. A full orbit around the sun, and the guy who's supposed to be one of the most dangerous closers in NASCAR hasn't seen victory lane. And now, the pressure is building. The fans are talking. The media is talking. The garage is definitely watching. Because when a driver like Larson starts using phrases like, "we're not where we want to be," you better believe something bigger is happening beneath the surface. And trust me, this isn't just about one bad race. This isn't even about 3 bad races. This could be the beginning of a serious championship problem for the number 5 team. Or the warning shot before they wake up and become unstoppable. Stick with me, because this story has massive playoff implications. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation news is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. So here's the thing. When we talk about Kyle Larson, we're not talking about some mid-pack guy trying to catch lightning in a bottle. We're talking about one of the most naturally gifted race car drivers on the planet, a 2-time Cup Series champion, a guy who can jump into literally anything with 4 wheels and make it fast. And yet, Monday, May 11th quietly marked the 1-year anniversary of Larson's last Cup Series win, Kansas Speedway. Let that sink in, a full year. Now yes, Larson still found a way to grind through the playoffs and capture the 2025 championship. That's what elite drivers do. But championships can hide problems. And now in 2026, those problems are becoming impossible to ignore. When reporters brought up the winless streak last weekend at Watkins Glen International, Larson gave one of those classic Larson responses. A little sarcastic, a little blunt. He basically said, "I think you guys pay attention to it way more than I pay attention to it." And honestly, that's vintage Larson. But then he followed it up with something way more revealing. He admitted, "We just haven't been good enough." And I'm just gonna say it straight. That might be the most important quote he's given all season. Because if you look at the numbers, they're ugly. The No. 5 team is currently riding a streak of 3 straight finishes of 23rd or worse. That's not a slump. That's not, "we missed the setup." That's a full-blown skid. At Texas, Larson crashed out while running 18th. At Watkins Glen, he barely sniffed the top 20. And maybe the biggest red flag of all 3 Hendrick Motorsports cars finished outside the top 20 on a road course for the first time since 2005. 2005. Do you understand how insane that stat is? That's 21 years of dominance gone in 1 weekend. And suddenly the question isn't, what's wrong with Larson? It's, what's going on at Hendrick? Because when Hendrick struggles, the entire garage pays attention. Now let's talk standings, because this is where things get really interesting. Larson currently sits 8th in the regular season championship standings. 8th. He's 235 points behind Reddick, who already has 5 wins in 2026. He's more than 100 points behind Denny Hamlin, and he's 90 points behind his own teammate Chase Elliott. That's not where the number 5 team expects to be. Not even close. And through 12 races, Larson has only 3 top 5s, an average finish of 17-3. And get this, that's his worst start through 12 races since joining Hendrick. Worst ever. Now sure, he's probably playoff safe if he keeps collecting points. But here's the danger. If this slump continues, they could enter the postseason without momentum. And NASCAR fans know momentum in the playoffs is everything. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your setup notebook is off, if your pit crew confidence is shaky, if your organization is still searching for speed, September becomes a nightmare. So what's causing all this? Well, Larson gave us a clue. He admitted, we're not where we want to be. No sugarcoating, no PR spin, just honesty. And honestly, I respect that. But he also said something that should scare the rest of the field. He said, the good thing about Hendrick Motorsports is they always figure it out. And that right there, that's the mindset of a champion. Because Larson knows something every hardcore fan knows. Hendrick doesn't stay down, ever. Maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes a month, maybe it takes a season, but eventually they figure it out. Now part of this could be Chevrolet adapting to the updated body package. Only Chase Elliott and Carson Hocevar have managed to break through to victory lane for Chevy this season. That's not exactly business as usual. So maybe this isn't just a Larson problem. Maybe this is a manufacturer-wide adjustment period. And if that's true, that changes everything. Because suddenly this isn't about one driver. This is about whether NASCAR's competitive balance is shifting right in front of us. Is Chevrolet behind? Is Hendrick searching? Is NASCAR's parity getting stronger? Or are we all about to witness the calm before Larson goes on an absolute tear? And then Friday at Dover Motor Speedway, something changed. During All-Star practice, Larson put the number 5 car at the top of the board, fastest in the session, 90 minutes, best lap. And suddenly the narrative shifts because now the garage is looking over and saying, wait a second, did they find something? Did Cliff Daniels and that? Now, 5 Team just cracked the code, and this is exactly why you never count out Kyle Larson. Not after one bad month, not after one bad stretch, not after one bad year without a win. Because if there's light at the end of the tunnel, Kyle Larson is exactly the kind of driver who turns that light into a checkered flag. So now I want to hear from you. Is Kyle Larson and the number vote 5 Team truly in trouble, or are we watching the setup for a mid-season comeback that could shake up the entire championship? And bigger than that, is Hendrick Motorsports losing its consistency, or is the rest of the field finally catching up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and join us right here on NASCAR Nation News, where NASCAR fans talk NASCAR the way it's supposed to be talked about.